It's Thursday, my sabbatical has begun, and my brain is having some difficulty grasping onto this concept. On the other hand, it's quiet. I've had my coffee this morning, and misfiring brain cells are screaming to be heard. These are some random TTRPG thoughts. Let's roll it. Before we begin, I want to shout out everyone who has liked, commented, and subscribed to DM Tales. It helps a lot. If you'd consider doing those things for this video, I would be most grateful. And a special shout out to my coffee contributors who help keep this channel going out of the kindness of their hearts. If you'd like to join the channel, the link is right over there. Also, if you're looking for some cool stuff to wear, check out my merch store for t-shirts and hoodies, including this one, which declares that you don't have a dice problem, you are a shaper of worlds. With all that out of the way, let's get to the randomness. John Fredericks sent me Streamlined Superheroes early last week. I read it in a day, it's not very long. Then I purchased it the next day, and 2 days later I ran it with no problem. It is as advertised. It is streamlined. Tonight, Thursday, July 10th, I am interviewing Glen Finney from RPGs vs. Alzheimer's Disease. I lost a grandmother to this wretched disease, so this one is personal. We will start our chat at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. As of July 2021, which is the last time the site was updated, Alarms and Excursions was still being published. So question, does anybody know if it's actually still going out? And even if it's not, I love that an amateur publication from the 70s lasted so long. That is so cool. The US Gustavo rolled a military patrol down a street in an LA park for pretty much no reason other than to show that they were insecure about the size of their private parts. After LA Mayor Karen Bass appeared on site and the patrol left without doing anything, Gregory Bavino shared, "I don't work for Karen Bass. Better get used to us now, 'cause this is going to be normal very soon. We will go anywhere, anytime we want in Los Angeles." Okay, listen. He's saying that having an occupied US city is going to be normal very soon. Elections have consequences. I'm working on posting the written form of my last several videos during this first part of my sabbatical, and it has been kind of fun. Watching the news, I get the feeling that someone in the current regime watched Season 2 of Star Wars Andor, saw what the Empire did on Gorman, and thought, "What a great idea! Let's do that!" Really. The reason I enjoy narrative-first games, especially for comic book games, is because I found it frees the player's imaginations. Instead of having to flip through the rules for their powers, they get to describe what it looks like when their powers are in motion. So instead of asking, "Do I have the feat which lets me create magical entanglement?" the player just says, "I use my magic to tie this guy up," and then rolls to see if it works, and if so, then how well it works. If the player has ice powers and they want to punch someone using that power, they just say, "I create ice boxing gloves and hit the villain." And it happens. There's no flipping through books or interpreting the minutiae of rules. There is the game. There are the roles and the world which reacts to those actions in the game. I love it. And the fact that it leads to a superhero group which declares, "We're sponsored by a Mazda dealership," that's just icing on the cake. I need to let my little one GM adventures for me more often because he makes up everything on the fly. And then I try to write down what's going on to make sense of it. It never does. But the last time he wound up doing this whole contested D4 mechanic, which was absolutely hysterical. All right, here's some games I want to run while I am on sabbatical. Heroes of Cerealia, The Electric State, Monty Python's co-curricular medieval reenactment program, Barbarians of the Ruined Earth, Easy D6 Wasted World, and The Origin. I better get to it. My heart goes out to all the people who are dealing with flooding throughout the United States, but especially those in Texas who are dealing with that catastrophic flooding. Lives have been lost, homes have been destroyed. Everyone who has encountered this is going to come away from it scarred. If you can help, please do so. Send them money, send them support, and please, for the love of all that is good and wonderful in this world, Do not look at them and say, well, you got what you voted for. It doesn't help, it just hurts. All right, coming up on the channel, like I said, tonight I've got my interview with Glen Finney from RPGs versus AD. I am looking really forward to that because I think it's a really cool cause. Also, I am doing my write-up of Rust and Redemption for the review on this channel. I am about 90% through the player's guide for Dreams and Machines. It's a fascinating game. I kind of like the 2D20 system from Modiphius, so that's kind of a fun revelation of reading that book. After that, I got all these wonderful games on the shelf, including my friend Dave's Ironbound system that is sitting there waiting to be pulled off and read. I am looking forward to getting to that very soon. And I've had a lot of people asking about Star Trek Adventures. My daughter got me that for Father's Day, and I'm going to be reading it very soon. I did read like the first chapter, and I was hooked, and I had to put it away because I knew I would just start reading it and go all the way through, and all my other stuff that I've read for review, I'd never get to. So I'm really looking forward to bringing all this to you. And until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.